What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again to do a recap of week one college football. It was a great college football weekend starting Thursday night with Florida and Utah. It will end tonight with Clemson and Duke. But I didn't want to wait and do this recap video, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And I'm going to start out with the game on Thursday night. Florida against Utah. Utah with the win 24-11. I thought Utah played a great game. I thought Florida came in unprepared. They made too many mistakes. They had penalties at critical times that they was about to score. Mistakes by the coaching staff for as clock management for us having the same number on the field on special teams, two number threes on the field at the same time on special teams, which led to a first down for Utah, and they eventually scored on that drive. All right. Also, like I say, from what I was told on the kickoff, it was two number 14s on the field and the refs missed it. So you can't have those type of penalties. I'm telling you, man. Also, like I say, undisciplined penalties. Jumping offside, 4th and inches, inside the 10-yard line. Can't have that, wind up having to kick a field goal. So, all in all, Utah played a pretty good game. But I wasn't impressed with Sam Mertz, even though he threw for 333 yards and a touchdown. Wasn't impressed. The running game was null and void for Florida. They only had 11 yards rushing. Terrible. Terrible. So they're going to have to do something about that offensive line so they can open up some run games. But anyway, as far as rushing, Trevor Etienne, 7 carries, 25 yards, 3.6 yards a carry. Other than that, Eugene Wilson had 9 yards, but, Graham Mertz, he got sacked. He got sacked, lost yardage, 29 for that. That's why they only ended up with 11 yards rushing. But anyway, Ricky Parcells, 8 receptions, 92 yards. Marcus Burke, 2 receptions, 61 yards. Jonathan Odom, 4 receptions, 42 yards. Caleb Douglas, 4 receptions, 42 yards. And Montrell Johnson Jr., 3 receptions, 41 yards, all for Florida. All right. A couple of guys, one guy had 24 yards. The other guys didn't make a difference. But as far as defense, Florida, 0 sacks. They did have 4 tackles for loss. I don't think they got any turnovers either, as far as I can see. But anyway, Florida didn't play too well. They didn't come into this game prepared. As far as Utah, 3rd-string quarterback, did his thing, but they was playing two quarterback system, being that they starting quarterback, he wasn't able to play. Matter of fact, Utah came into this game missing 8 starters, and Florida still couldn't get it done. But Bryson Barnes, he was 12 of 18, 159 yards and a touchdown. So as far as rushing, Utah had 105 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 touchdown through the air. So defensively, I believe they got 2 turnovers defensively. They got 2 turnovers off of Florida. So, hey, Florida, better luck next time. Utah, keep doing what you're doing. But anyway, defensively, Florida had 7 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 4 pass deflected. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Terrible. But anyway, congratulations, Utah. Great job. Did I say Florida had that many? But anyway, Utah, 5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 4 pass deflected. But anyway, congratulations to the Utah Utes for beating the hell out of the Florida Gators and those and Billy Napier. And I enjoyed every damn minute of it. All right. But anyway, like I said, Alabama over everything. So let's talk about this next game, which is Colorado and TCU. A lot of people didn't expect Colorado to come in and win this game. They expected Colorado to come in and get blown out. But Deion Sanders said, hold my damn beer. Shador Sanders, hold my beer. All right. Travis Hunter. Hold my beer. Okay, so Colorado came in, handled business, beat TCU at home. All right, and TCU, all they did was continue where they left off last season, because like I said, they done gave up 110 points over the last two games. 65 to Georgia and 45 to Colorado. Anyway, Shedeur Sanders setting records. 38 of 47, 510 yards, 4 touchdowns. Oh man! But anyway, like I said, he set records. Impressed with Shedeur Sanders. At times I thought he could have ran and picked up yards, but hey, he's a quarterback. He want to throw that ball downfield, and that's exactly what he did. Colorado, they only rushed for 55 yards, so they're going to have to work on that. But the pass protection, it was pretty sound. They got to Shedeur Sanders, pressured him a couple of times, but he got the ability to extend the play and make plays downfield with his arm. So, but like I said, 34 rushes for 55 yards, 1.6 yards a carry. But they did get 2 touchdowns on the ground. So that's a plus. All right, receiving. Like I say, Shedeur threw for 510 yards. Dylan Edwards, 5 catches, 135 yards, 3 touchdowns. Travis Hunter, 11 receptions, 119 yards. Xavier Weaver, 6 catches, 118 yards. And Jimmy Horn, 11 receptions, 117 yards and a touchdown. 4 wide receivers with over 100 yards. Matter of fact, all of them over 115 yards. I think that was a record for Colorado too. So, oh my goodness. That was clicking. The passing game was clicking. As far as defense, no sacks, no tackles for loss, 3 pass deflected. Both teams is going to have to work on their defense. Both defenses was terrible. Both of them. So, Colorado got the win. But I think if they was playing anybody with any type of defense, they wouldn't have won this game. But congratulations to Colorado, Deion Sanders, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, the whole entire Colorado football team for doing something that a lot of people didn't think they would do. So, and I think they're going up against Nebraska this week, and I think they can beat Nebraska. But as far as TCU, Chandler Mims, quarterback, 24 for 42, not good. 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not good. All right, they rushed for 262 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. Now that part was good, but like I say, both defenses terrible. Running back Amani Bailey, 14 carries, 164 yards. No TDs. Trey Sanders, 15 carries, 46 yards. You know, he's a transfer from Alabama. I don't know what's going on with these transfers from Alabama. Tell you now. So it is what it is. Trust in the process, baby. Then you got Chandler Morris. I don't know why I said Chandler Mims, but Chandler Morris, the quarterback for TCU, he rushed for 30 yards on 5 carries. So that was pretty much they daggone rushing. As far as receiving, like I say, he threw for 279 yards. Jared Bailey, 6 receptions, 69 yards, a touchdown. Dylan Wright, 2 catches, 44 yards, a touchdown. And they only threw 2 touchdowns. So, all right, that's all right. But as far as the defense, 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 2 pass deflected. Yeah, they got the Shedeur Sanders, but hey, he still was back there doing his thing, running around, putting that ball downfield. So they came out with the win 45-42. So we'll see what they can do against Nebraska. But for right now, congratulations to Deion and his Colorado Buffaloes. All right. Another game I want to get to is UGA and University of Tennessee Martin. Okay. Far as Georgia, they came out sluggish. Carson Beck, he didn't look the part in the beginning. Definitely did not. Their running game was null and void. in the first half. Brock Bowers, I think I'll continue to say if something happened to him, they might be in trouble offensively. All right, but the second half they put it together. They was able to sit back down in the fourth quarter and let Gunnar Stockton and Brock Vandegrift get some playing time. So, and they was throwing the ball. But anyway, Carson Beck, 21 of 31, 294 yards and a touchdown. Vandegrift, 2 of 3, 77 yards and a touchdown. And Gunnar Stockton chipped in 3 of 5, 29 yards. And they passed for 400 total yards. Kendall Milton, 9 carries, 53 yards. Roger Robinson, 8 carries, 50 yards and a touchdown. He broke one. And then you got had Carson Beck to come in, 3 carries, 12 yards, a touchdown. Scrambled in the end zone. You know, Cash Jones, he had 3 carries of 5 yards. Brock Bowers, 1 carry of 3 yards. He scored a touchdown on the end around, I think. But Brock Bowers is the key to the offense, in my opinion. The defense didn't look the part, not like I would expect them to look, from last season coming into this first game. UT Martin, their offensive line, they was holding up in the first half. Defensive line was holding up in the first half. Matter of fact, UT Martin, they was getting through that offensive line in the first half. So that impressed me. But Georgia came out with the win 48-7. So let's see what Georgia's defense did. They got 1 sack, 4 tackles for loss, and 2 pass deflections. I thought this defensive line or this front seven would kill UT Martin, but that wasn't the case. But maybe Georgia, they didn't show their hand. They didn't bring out everything they got in their repertoire. I'll put it that way. But the game kind of surprised me. But Georgia came out with the win, 48-7, and I'm sure Georgia will be better this week against Ball State. So nothing to fret about with Georgia. The key is to get the win and don't get players injured, because they came into this game with injured running backs. We see Ladd McConkey kind of banged up. He didn't play. So they had some players out. So that's understandable. But like I say, it's the first game. They're going to get better, no doubt. All right. As for UTM, 128 yards passing, 134 yards rushing. I'm surprised they rushed for that much. Dent, 6 carries, 47 yards. Sam Franklin, 12 carries, 46 yards. Jordan Castleberry, 8 carries, 31 yards. And then you got LaFleur with 3 carries, 10 yards. All right, so, but I'm surprised that they rushed for 134 yards on a Georgia defense. So I want to hear, can't nobody run on Georgia. But anyway, as far as passing, like I said, 128 yards. The lone touchdown came to Trevontae Rucker, 3 catches, 17 yards, 1 touchdown. So, hey, nobody had over 50 yards receiving for UT Martin. UT Martin, 0 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 3 pass deflected. So, I mean, you can't expect UT Martin to come into this game and win. At least I didn't. Even though Georgia came out sluggish, still took a 17-0 lead in the halftime and wound up winning 48-7. So it's all good on Georgia's part. Next game, Tennessee and Virginia. All right. Oh man, these Tennessee balls is high on this run game, because they rushed for over 300 yards, I believe. Matter of fact, they ran for 287 yards on Virginia. We all know Virginia is a poor ass team. Been that for years. But anyway, hey, they won the game, blowout, 49-13. Joe Milton, 21 for 30, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns. Didn't impress me at all. But hey, it is what it is. Then the $8 million quarterback, Lama Lavelle, whatever his damn name, he came in. He had 2 or 3 11 yards Not good. I don't know why they didn't put the what's his name? I forget the other quarterback name. I mean the other quarterback they got, which I thought was the backup quarterback. They didn't even Malik some damn body, but they didn't put him in. So it is what it is. But Jalen Hyatt, I'm talking about some damn Jalen Hyatt. Whew, I still got that in my mind of what he did to us last season. Oh my goodness. But anyway, Jalen Wright. Oh my goodness, Jalen Wright. 12 carries, 115 yards. Jabari Small, 13 carries for 67 yards. Dylan Sampson, 13 for 52, 3 touchdowns. Joe Milton, 9 for 33, 2 touchdowns. This is on the ground. So they had 5 touchdowns rushing. But like I said, it's Virginia. When you come up against the SEC, baby, that's going to be null and void, Mr. Tennessee. Anyway, as far as receiving, Ramel Keaton, 3 carries, 66 yards. Three receptions, 66 yards. Ramel Keaton, he dropped a couple of balls that could have been scores or led to scores. So Ramel Keaton, you got to hold on to that ball. Squirrel White, 6 catches, for 45 yards. It was 2 touchdowns through the air. Jacob Warren, one catch, 11 yards. And Dylan Sampson, 1 catch, 9 yards, touchdown. So Tennessee, congratulations on the win. It was against Virginia. Virginia is a poor team. Virginia only passed for 106 yards. They only rushed for 95 yards. And I'm not chalking that up to Tennessee's defense being that good. I'm chalking it up to Virginia's offense being that bad. And that is fact. That is fact. So they got 201 total yards. No, Tennessee. I'm not giving your defense that credit. Virginia is terrible. But anyway. Oh my goodness, man. They got a touchdown on the ground from Paris Jones. He had 7 carries, 39 yards, and a touchdown. And that's the only touchdown they got. The rest of them, 2 field goals. They didn't win it. Anyway, for defensively, 1 sack for Virginia, 1 tackle for loss, 5 pass deflections. For Tennessee, 4 sacks, 11 tackles for loss, 5 pass deflections. But that's because Virginia is so bad. You're gonna see Tennessee. It's gonna come around, and y'all gonna realize that y'all ain't that good. Watch what I tell you. But one thing I can say about Tennessee, they are the only SEC team who played a Power 5 team, this past weekend and got a win. Florida lost to a Power 5. LSU lost to a Power 5. And South Carolina lost to a Power 5. So there you go. But anyway, Tennessee, don't worry. Your time coming. Believe that. But anyway, for right now, congratulations to Mr. Bobby and his Tennessee Volunteers. Next game, as I just mentioned, South Carolina and North Carolina. Lord have mercy. South Carolina gave up 9 sacks. You can't win like that. All right, even though Spencer Rattler got sacked 9 times, he threw for 353 yards, but no touchdowns. I mean, you can throw for all the yards you want, but if it ain't leading the scores, then it's null and void. Okay, but anyway, they lost 31-17. South Carolina had a negative 2 yards rushing. Oh, Lord. Negative 2 yards rushing. Spencer Rattler lost 22 yards because he was getting sacked and shit. So, anyway, the leading rusher at the time had 23 yards on 12 carries. Juju Manawa, 5 carries, negative 1 yards. Xavier Leggett, 1 carry, negative 2 yards. Spencer Rattler, 13 carries, negative 22 yards. Sacks. But anyway, that was terrible. Anyway, 31 carries, negative 2 yards. Sad. Anyway, as far as passing, like I said, passed for 353 yards. But my thing is 12 carries, 23 yards and a touchdown. 5 carries, -1 yards and a touchdown. How does that shit work? But anyway, receiving, Xavier Leggett, 9 receptions, 178 yards, no touchdowns. Other than that, next one, second in receptions, 3 receptions, 44 yards. That was Amaron Brown, or I guess that's his name, Amaron Brown. 3 receptions, 44 yards. Nobody scored a touchdown. I ain't even gonna talk about it. Defensively, they was terrible. 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflected. Terrible. But anyway, as far as North Carolina, Drake May, 24-32, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Got to clean up them interceptions, but they had 168 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. British Brooks, 15 carries, 103 yards. Omarion Hampton, 16 carries, 37 yards, 2 touchdowns. As far as passing, they had two touchdowns through the air, like I said. Kobe Purcell, 7 receptions, 1 touchdown. And John Copenhaver, 3 receptions and a touchdown. That's about it. As far as the defense, 9 sacks, like I said, 16 tackles for loss. God damn, that offensive line was simply terrible. Simply terrible. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness. And what other game I want to talk about? Alabama. We'll go ahead and talk about Alabama and Middle Tennessee, which you already know. I was impressed with my Alabama Crimson Tide, even though it was Middle Tennessee. I'm not celebrating that win, but I am celebrating how my Alabama Crimson Tide performed. Mainly Jalen Milroe and the wide receivers. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. All right, we had 226-yard passing. Jalen Milroe, 13 of 18, 194 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air. And that's all in 2.5 quarters. So if he'd have, went on and continued in the game, I think it'd have been well over 250 yards probably. But anyway, Tyler Buckner came in, 3 for 5, 27 yards. Had a touchdown on the ground. Ty Simpson came in, 1 for 1 for 5 yards. He also had a touchdown on the ground. But anyway, as far as rushing, Jalen Milroe was our leading rusher with 48 yards and 2 touchdowns. All right. Jace McClellan, 10 rushes, 39 yards, a touchdown. Ty Simpson, 2 carries, 12 yards, a touchdown. Roydell Williams, 7 carries, 36 yards. Justice Haynes, 4 carries, 29 yards. Richard Young, 5 carries, 18 yards. And Jam Miller, 4 carries, 14 yards. Like I say, and I'm glad all those guys got in the game. All 5 running backs got in the game and got them some yards. Got them some game experience. That's what I like. All right. Will that continue to happen? Maybe against Texas. I don't know. That remains to be seen. So, but I'm glad all those guys are getting in the game. I think our offensive line held up pretty good for the most part, even though Jalen Milroe, I think he took 2 sacks. But for the most part, I think they held up pretty good. Yeah, he took 2 sacks. What I was most impressed about also was our wide receivers catching the ball. They didn't have no drops. No penalties on offense at all. We only had 2 penalties for 19 yards. That's a big difference from the past 2 years. And you seen as a team, it was like night and day from 2021 team, 2022 team to this 2023 team. Night and day. The physicality, the speed, all right, the discipline. So that's what I like. All right. As far as defense, let me get to the wide receivers. Isaiah Bond, 5 catches, 76 yards, a touchdown. Jermaine Burton, 3 catches, 62 yards, a touchdown. Amari Neblack, 2 catches, 49 yards, a touchdown. Then you had Cole Prentice, 3 receptions for 20 yards. So 2 receivers and a tight end caught a touchdown pass. So that was great. That was great. I loved it. Anyway, defense. I love what I seen on defense. We flying around. We are flying around, and I love it. That linebacker core, it's on point. We've been missing that for a while. Caleb Downs, freshman, 6 solo tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Deontay Lawson, 4 solo tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss. Chris Braswell, 4 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. So, hey, we had 3 sacks. Looked like more than that. 7 tackles for loss, 1 pass deflected. But I love what I see on defense. Look like our offense and defensive coordinator, they're going to work out perfect for us. So I'm loving what I see from my Alabama Crimson Tide. So, but let's talk about Middle Tennessee. Their quarterback went 21 of 32, 127 yards. They had a total and 1 interception. They had a total of 133 yards, right? Passing. But, you know, they did get a touchdown. So I hate that. I wanted to shut them out. For us rushing, they only had 78 yards rushing total. All right. We rushed for 205 yards. All right. Today only rushed for 78. That is good. Keep them under 100. You good to go. But anyway, no, they didn't get no touchdowns on the ground. Defensively, they had 2 sacks and 4 tackles for loss, 2 pass deflected. So Middle Tennessee was no match. We won 56-7. That's all I need to say. My Alabama Crimson Tide, they look great. They look great. I mean, outstanding. All right. But guess what? There is room to get better. And hopefully that's what's going to happen. All right. So I'm done with this. Let me run down some of these scores that I didn't talk about before I get off of here. But we know we got Clemson play Duke tonight, so we'll be watching that. But let's run down some of these scores that I didn't mention. Michigan beat Eastern Carolina 30-3. Ohio State beat Indiana 23-3. They was on the struggle bus a little bit. USC won again against Nevada 66-14. Penn State won 38-15. They beat West Virginia. Washington, they beat Boise State 56-19. Texas beat Rice 37-10. I watched some of that Texas game. That offensive line for Texas better get better. Quinn Ewers better get better before daggone Saturday come up. I can tell you that right now. But they won. They beat Rice 37-10. Notre Dame, they beat Tennessee State 56-3. Oregon put up 81 points on Portland State. I don't care who you is, you shouldn't get 81 points scored on you, but 81-7. Kansas State, they won against Southeast Missouri. Wisconsin beat Buffalo 38-17. Oklahoma beat the hell out of Arkansas State 73-0. Oh my goodness. Ole Miss put up 73 points on Mercer. Texas A&M beat New Mexico State 52-10. Tulane beat South Alabama 37-17. Iowa beat Utah State 24-14. And mind you, Texas State beat Baylor. Oh my goodness. And Oregon State beat San Jose State 42-17. So that's my recap of week 1's college football games. And I'll talk to y'all later. And y'all have a great day. Roll damn Tide.